Hello everybody, I know I haven't been a video in a couple of years. I just got done throwing some parts together. I'm going to do some POTA stuff for ham radio. And I bought a couple of really good batteries and I built some battery bank boxes. That should last quite a while. Oh, look at those, aren't those cute? But the batteries, the batteries are good, but they come with them, but they're a little pricey. You don't come with them, you have to build them. But, I can't remember the name of the bed. Those are the best, I think, in my humble opinion. I've got two of those big boys built and one of the little guys. But then I got to thinking, I've got these, excuse me, dog, thank you. I've got these 40-volt lithium ion batteries that I run my RYOBI, I've got a post hole digger, a chainsaw, some other stuff. So I got 4 of these batteries, right? And I got to think, man, it'd be nice if I could get them down to 12 volts. So I found this little deal on eBay. Just a voltage converter, buck converter they call them. It'll take anything up to, I think it's like 50 volts or 48 volts. It's made for a golf cart and take it down to 12. It's not 13/8, 12, okay? They have a 13/8 one I seen on there, but it only does 10 amps and the highest input is 24 volts. So this battery puts out 40 volts. So I started testing. I hooked everything up with Anderson power poles first, hooked together. Man, it worked. I'm running at 705 and this Yaesu and the dual band over there, the dual band Icom. Just testing out here in the barn. It worked fine. And it's linear too. This thing is linear. So like I was just running the rigs here. I was pulling around 1 amp out of it. It's only pulling about 1/3 of an amp off this battery. And I ran them for almost a day here. I left them on just to see, and the battery lasted more than that day, just on receive, of course. And it's just a simple thing. I think I've got 40 bucks into it. What makes it happen is I bought these on eBay. I can get this off here with one hand. No, I don't have a tripod out here hooked up. I haven't been doing cameras in forever. This little bottom piece I bought off eBay. And some guy's making them with his printer, and that's just wonderful. He sells them for about 18, 20 bucks. You see 2 versions, one with and one without a fuse, and I'm a fuse freak, okay? So I got the one with the fuse. So I bolted it on the bottom of a nice little box, and I've got a deal where I can, USB, my 5 volt, that'll run my hearing aid stuff. Because when I go out POTA, I've actually got my hearing aid transmitter. I've got one of those things that I take with my equipment, and it goes right into my hearing aids, and I can hear it real good that way. It's pretty funny. People think I'm sitting there talking to myself. Hey, you know what? If they think you're crazy, they'll leave you alone. And, so it just clips on there. I bolted it at the bottom of the box. Bolt this on top. It doesn't get warm at all, but then again, this will put out 20 amps. I fuse this for 10 amps, but at 12 volts it'll put out 20 amps. I don't need that kind of current at all, but I would like longevity. What I want to use this for is like I built a power supply for my laptop that'll pump it up to 19 volts, and so I can run the laptop off it. And I tried it first. I thought, oh, it might eject in some noise, but it doesn't. There's no noise at all on HF. Right now during the day out here in the barn, there's a lot of noise. It's like 6 o'clock and from the solar stuff, but it works. And it basically, I've got 4 more battery packs worth of power I can use when I go POTA. They're small enough, and I own them. I don't have to buy them. The 4 amp hour at 40 volts should give me at least 6 amp hour at 12, probably closer to 8 or 9, because it is linear. Okay, it's not, if I'm taking an amp here, I'm not taking an amp here. I'm taking about 1/3 of an amp. I just thought somebody might get some use out of the idea of that. I've not seen this anywhere. And it's just simple. That's all there is to it. I got probably 40 bucks. This box cost me like $10, but it works out good. Something that's solid, it holds these guys. There wasn't a lot of room. And I had this one extra. This one has a meter on it too, but I had extra from building them other ones because it was buy 2, get a better price. So I threw that on too. Somebody might be out there and needs to charge their phone or something. What is these people walk around with a cell phone that's always dead? My granddaughter's is always dead. What is it? Let's charge your damn phone. Art is that, right? But anyways, I think it's a great idea. And I'm sure somebody can make it fancier, but this will work. Easy to get into, to work on. Like I say, again, this thing is cool as a cucumber. There's no heat at all on it. Imagine if you started pulling 8, 10 amps off, there's a lot of heat, but that wouldn't last as long. I've got a 705 I'm going to use my POTA, and I've got a 7300, which I want 100 watts. I'm going to use them. I'm going to try FT8 and then probably use 7300 on voice, get a little more. But I've tried that 705 on phone, and I've checked into our local net and all kinds of crap, and that wasn't even with a great antenna. The antenna I got out here, because I took all the stuff in the house a while ago, is just for receive, you know. But with a tuner behind it, I was able to check into that. So, I don't know. If there's anybody still watching my channel, at least you'll know I'm still alive. There it is. Man, I'm tempted to build a second one. If I could find one of these and put out 13.8 at 20 amps, I would. You know? But see, I had these, some of these were spare parts I had. So because that little guy right there is like 20 bucks. It's an Anderson power pole. And this thing was like, I don't know, 25. It just shows current and everything. It's really nice. I did rewired a little bit because normally everything runs on solar out here. Look at the mess up there. So what I did is I unplugged that power block and I just plug it in here, and that way it could be running everything, and I could just watch it. And I was getting ready to go in the house, and I go, man, it only had 3 bars when I started, and I still got 3 bars on the battery. Because these are just ones that were in the other room. I stored them so they didn't freeze in the winter. Plug it in there. Here it comes on. My rig's on charge. This one on right now. Solar would be screwing this rig up big time because the antennas are near the back of them. Look what solar does. Full scale noise. Full scale, man. But just 1.31 amps, and both those rigs take over an amp apiece. And this guy's charging. Turn him on. And he doesn't pull that much. Yeah, hear the noise I get on the solar. But I just have it set up to test. I'm gonna put it back in its all those boxes. There's all our junk we got ready to go play POTA. Those are whether it gets. We got to tune some antennas and stuff. I know I'm getting slow to it, but I think it'll be fun to go out and play at a park for part of a day. I can do that and still work. That'll be great. Anyways, if anybody else wants some power, 12-volt portable power, man, you got some of those batteries for your tools. That's a hell of an idea. And I've seen one also where they make one of these adapters for the 18-volt RYOBI stuff. Now, I've not used them. I got a bunch of RYOBI batteries, 18-volt, but I didn't think they'd last as long as the 40s do. And so I did it with the 40. And you get a lot of savings because you're going from 40 to 12, and it's linear, so you're not pulling hardly anything off the. I hooked it up when I was testing it, and I hooked up these testers because I hooked up everything Anderson power pole so I could play with it. It was 1/4 of an amp to get that much power out of it. You know, I didn't have the 705 on it then because I didn't wish to kill the 705 in case something went wrong. So when I was testing, I was just using the 2-meter rigs. I mean, yeah, they're rigs, but I'd rather smoke one of them than smoke my 705. And the 705 don't pull enough current to wad a shotgun anyway to test it. I mean, you can. All right, 652. I've got it on high power. Let's try this out. K8 OCN testing. Goes right up to 10 amps. Sits there solid as a rock. Yes, it's probably only putting out about 35 watts instead of 50 because I'm not at 13.8. But, I mean, I'm not going to be pulling that much power on a portable, but it's just solid as a rock. So it's cool. So if anybody's really interested in it, put some comments or something in. I don't know. Maybe I'll get ambitious and put it in the comments or the description. I could go get the link for this And that one I just bought off Amazon. You can buy any box would work. I just wanted something I could bolt on top of that thing. And on this, he actually countersinks the holes for you already, so it's really nice. I mean, he does a good job on that little thing. I mean, I know his printer's printing it, but hey, it's worth it to me. All right, there we go. Hope everybody's doing good. Goodbye.